Deep in the clouds above the world, hidden amongst the fluffy white cotton and far away from the rain and the wind, is a majestic castle made of pure white marble. It's so high that no one has ever seen it, or at least no one living has ever seen it. Because all who look upon it with wonder are forever frozen in time when they hear the call of the cloud castle. And all who have heard its call over the years have become part of its eternal beauty. They just stand there pointing up at it as they freeze in time forever. In the highest tower of the cloud castle, nestled between the moon and the stars, lives a lonely princess. She's so high that she has never seen the world below her, but she dreams of what it might be like. Every day she gazes out of her window and wishes for someone to share the beauty of the world with. But no one ever looks up to the castle in the sky. So the princess spends her days tending to her cloud pets and playing games with the wind, dreaming of adventure and hoping that someday her wish will come true. Every morning the princess wakes before sunrise and greets each of her cloud pets by name. She feeds the puffy white sheep and combs the soft wool of the cloud bunnies until their fur is all fluffy and white. She brushes the whiskers of the cloud cats and scratches the ears of the cloud dogs until their fur is as white as snow. And every evening, just before sunset, she feeds the cloud dragons delicious clouds to keep them strong and healthy. The cloud castle may be lonely, but it's filled with fluffy friends and whimsical adventures. One day, while playing hide-and-seek with the cloud cats, the princess found a secret door behind a giant waterfall. The door was made of smooth, polished marble, just like the rest of the castle, but it was a deep, rich black, which made it impossible to see. The door had no handle and no knocker, and the keyhole seemed to stretch into infinity. Curiosity bubbled inside of her like a pot of soup about to boil over, and the princess just had to know what was on the other side. She called out to the cats, but they were already gone, vanished behind the soft folds of the waterfall. And when she stepped through the door, the princess knew that she would never see them again. As she closed the door behind her, everything went dark. The princess couldn't see her hand in front of her face. And when she tried to open the door, she found that it wouldn't budge. She pushed and she pulled, but the door was locked, and she could hear the cloud cats mewing sadly on the other side. Taking a deep breath, the princess put her ear against the cold, hard surface of the door. She could hear the soft padding of the cats' paws, and she could even hear their worried meows. She didn't want to scare them away, but she also wanted to get back to her own world, so she did the only thing she could think of. She started to sing. As the princess sang, the sound of her voice echoed inside the door. At first, the singing didn't seem to make much of a difference. But after a few moments, the meowing on the other side slowly faded away and was replaced by an eerie silence. Suddenly, the princess felt the door rumble beneath her feet, and then it swung open, revealing a sight that made her gasp in surprise. The room beyond the door was filled with all of the princess's cloud pets, but something was very wrong. The sheep were made of shadow instead of fluff. Their eyes glowed a bright red, and their legs were sharp as knives. The cloud cats looked like sleek black panthers, and their playful meows had turned into menacing growls. Even the fluffy cloud bunnies looked scary with their long, sharp teeth and beady little eyes. But the scariest of all was the cloud dragon. Instead of being friendly and fun-loving, the dragon looked like a huge bat with leathery wings and glowing red eyes. Its claws were long and sharp, and its teeth were like daggers. And as the princess watched in horror, the dragon lunged toward her with a deafening roar. The princess screamed and ran as fast as she could, but the dragon was too quick for her. It snatched her up in its claws and carried her deeper into the shadowy realm. She struggled to free herself, but the dragon's grip was too tight, and as it flew, she noticed something strange. Everything seemed to be moving backward. Trees were growing leaves instead of losing them. The river was flowing uphill instead of downhill. The sun was shining its light back into the sky, and the stars were hiding during the day. The dragon dropped the princess to the ground, and she landed on her feet, brushing off her silky white gown. But when she looked down, she saw that the dirt beneath her feet was made of clouds. Looking back at the dragon, she realized that it was heading back toward the strange black door. As it approached, the door began to glow with an eerie red light. The dragon disappeared through it, leaving the princess alone in the strange and scary world. She wanted to run away, but there was nowhere to go. The ground beneath her feet was made of clouds, and the only other thing around her was a giant waterfall. The princess walked toward the waterfall and touched its cold, hard surface, and as she did, she saw the faint outline of a door, just like the one she had come through. She reached out and touched it, and suddenly the world began to spin around her. When she opened her eyes, she was back in her room in the cloud castle. Her cloud pets were all around her, and she could hear the gentle sound of the waterfall outside her window. Something was different now. The princess could feel the soft petals of flowers beneath her feet, and she could smell the sweet scent of roses and lilies in the air. She looked down at her hands and saw that they were covered in dirt. She had never felt anything like it before. Suddenly, one of the cloud cats jumped onto her lap and purred loudly. And when she looked into its eyes, she saw that they were filled with love and devotion. The princess reached out and stroked the cat's fur, and she felt a deep connection between them. At that moment, the princess realized that the other side of the door wasn't just a scary and confusing place. It was also a place full of adventure and wonder. And she knew that she would never forget her journey through the door in the clouds. From that day on, the princess spent her time exploring the world around her. She learned to appreciate the beauty of the flowers and the trees and the animals. She made friends with the creatures she had once been afraid of, and discovered that they weren't so scary after all. And every night before she went to sleep, she would look up at the stars and dream of the adventures that awaited her beyond the door in the clouds. The princess had learned that sometimes the things we fear the most can be the most beautiful and wondrous if we only take the time to understand them. And she knew that her journey through the door in the clouds had changed her forever.